Hey, hey, what's up? What's up? Back with another episode of The Locker Room. It's your host, Kalal, KT, Y.M.E, whatever you want to call me. Just make sure you call me, man. And not gonna be before you long today. Just a little quick wrap up and preview for the two games we got. Finally here, y'all. Final four college football playoffs. Been a great season of college football. Seen ups and downs, seen teams rise, seen teams fall, but we got the best four teams in college football. Regardless of how you feel, what you may think, these four teams fought through the gauntlet, 12-team playoff, finally here, Final Four. Let's get into it. Notre Dame versus Penn State tonight at 7:30. I'm really intrigued by this game, man. Really intrigued by this game. Y'all know me. I wasn't a huge believer of Notre Dame. Probably half heart to go with that. You know, I'm not the biggest Notre Dame fan. It is what it is. But I do like Marcus Freeman. I tell you that right now. I respect Marcus Freeman, and I do root for him as a head coach. But, man, this team showed me something, man. This team showed me something. The way they was physical, both sides of the ball, both lines of scrimmage going against the University of Georgia, and I mean, they just dominated. Georgia didn't stand a chance, man. They completely dominated. Yes, they was playing up with a backup quarterback, but guess what? He started off the game 8 for 8, balling some change. So it wasn't his fault that they lost this football game, man. Notre Dame just outclassed them. They outclassed them. They out-physicaled them, both sides of the ball. They wanted it more. They were the more hungry football team, man. You can see it. You can see it on the field. They really showed me something, man. I was impressed by this Notre Dame team. Like I told y'all, a friend of mine told me that they got the recipe to go all the way, and I'm starting to believe in that recipe as well. I do think they have what it takes to go all the way if they can get some big players in the passing game here and there. Big players in the passing game here and there. Going against the Penn State Nittany Lions. Now, I've been a fan of this Penn State team throughout the course of the season. I believe in them coming into the playoffs, man, and I'm gonna continue to ride with them, man. That two-headed monster they got at running back, and that offensive line, man, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Puts a lot of pressure on defense, man. And now I will say they started off dominant last week against Boise State, but some things that I didn't like in the second half. Decisions, play calling, some things that left me with a little concern. Feel like they could have finished the job a little bit better, but I do think they'll learn from that heading into this game tonight against Notre Dame. But that two-headed monster, man, it's something to behold, man. And I believe that Drew Allar has the ability to make plays with his guys in one-on-one coverage. When you got a kid like Tyler Warren, when teams try to stack the box to stop this running game, and you potentially got a linebacker trying to cover him, complete mismatch. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Linebacker's not covering this kid. Best tight end in college football. And he can also block. So, big fan of Tyler Warren, man. Also, VA kid. Just like Allen at running back. Another Virginia kid. Just throwing that out there. But, nah, man, I feel like that ability to run the football and leaving their guys in one-on-one coverage, Drew Allar is going to have to make some explosive plays to really bring this game home. Because Notre Dame has a tough defense, man. They have a tough defense. Penn State going to make plays on the ground, but they also going to have some plays with their stuff. Might find themselves in some third-long situations if this Notre Dame defense shows up like they did last week. And on that side of the ball, Notre Dame can really run the football. This is a strength-on-strength game, y'all. Two teams that want to get downhill, run the football, and play good defense. But the thing about Notre Dame is they also have a quarterback that can run the football. See, now that puts the defense in a tough spot. Now you have to be disciplined as far as who got the quarterback, who got the running back. You know, is guys going to contain? Is it an RPO? You know, that really puts the defense in a tough position, man. And before you know it, guys got the football going down the field for 30, 40 yards. So Penn State is really going to have to be discipline on the defensive side of the ball. Do feel like they have the ability to do it. They're great on all 3 levels of their defense, same way Notre Dame is. That's why I say this is a strength-on-strength football game. 2 great defenses going against 2 great running games. And who can shut each other's running game down and put the quarterback in a position where they have to make the plays with their arm. I do believe Drew Allar is good enough to do that, though. Not saying he's the greatest, but I just believe in this kid's ability to make plays with his arm. And I would have to say I'm leaning Penn State, man. I would have to say I'm leaning Penn State. Could that be my heart playing a role in it? Could be. Hey, I could be guilty, y'all. But I am leaning Penn State in this game. I do think that they'll bring it home. But I would absolutely not be surprised at all if Notre Dame wins this game with the performance that they put on against Georgia last week. And we'll see if they can duplicate that. Because one thing about Notre Dame that I'm seeing different with this team has something to prove. This team has something to prove. And that's a dangerous man. A man that got something to prove and won't stop at no cost to prove his point. He's a dangerous man. And I can see that in Notre Dame's style of play. I can see it in the energy, which is infectious, throughout their whole team, throughout their whole sideline. So this team looks like it has a renewed motivation, renewed spirit. And quite frankly, it has been a joy to watch. It has been a joy to watch to see a Notre Dame team play that physical on both sides of the football. But that Nittany line, offensive and defensive line, is very physical. Got a kid like Abdul Carter coming off of that end. We'll see if Notre Dame can block him. That kid, he's a game plan record. Simply plain, he's a game record. But Notre Dame pass rush has been good also. So if they can put a halt to these backs and get Penn State in 3rd and long situations and make Drew Allar uncomfortable back there and get some pressure on them, then that will play in Notre Dame's favor as far as putting a stop to that Penn State offense. Because we know, as much as I love Tyler Warren, outside of him in the passing game, it's the backs, then it's guys making plays here and there as far as the receivers. So we'll see if one of those receivers can really step up tonight and really beat man coverage continuously throughout the night. And the same thing goes for Notre Dame. The same thing. Because Penn State's going to load the box. They're going to play the running game. They're going to play the quarterback. They're not going to try to let this kid get going with his legs, box him in, and put pressure on him to see if he can make throws down the field. And Notre Dame's receivers have to do the same as well. They're going to have to beat man coverage, and somebody's going to have to make a big play. I feel like whichever team can hold on to the ball, avoid the turnovers, can stay in 3rd and manageable situations, and also get those explosive plays. I feel like those, not just on the ground, but in the air as well. And just control the ball. Which team can control time of possession, who can hold the ball, and continue to enforce their will, and keep that running game going and wear them down. Like Penn State did last week. Like I say, wasn't necessarily too impressed with the second half, but what they did do, what happened? They broke a long run in the 4th quarter because they was continuing to wear that Boise State defense down, and they bust a big run, and they put the game away. So I am leaning Penn State, like I say, but this will be an interesting one to see. Can't wait to watch this one. Next game, Ohio State and Texas. Man, Blue Bloods, I'm sorry. This is going to be a battle, man. This is going to be a battle. But at the same time, don't be surprised if Ohio State really handles this Texas team. If they really handle this Texas team, Ohio State put on a clinic last week against Oregon. A clinic. I couldn't believe it. Like I told you, I was leaning Ohio State. And I said, if this $20 million roster shows up, Oregon is going to have problems. Oregon is going to be in trouble. And that's exactly who showed up. On top of the fact that they wanted revenge. 3-point loss at Oregon early in the season. Felt like they should have really won that game. It got away from them. So Ohio State came to play football. And great job by Ryan Day and the coaching staff by making the proper adjustments to really stifle that Oregon offense and to just dominate them while Ohio State was on offense. Oregon didn't stand a chance, man. Oregon didn't stand a chance, and it's a shame. Oregon fans. That's usually how it goes for Oregon in the playoffs when they get to go up against these other teams, in which will usually be the Big Ten teams and the SEC teams. But them being in the Big Ten this year, it had a different feel. It had a different feel. So, excuse me, I don't believe no one saw this coming because I didn't expect it to get ugly like that. Because I also said with the speed that Oregon has, I thought, that was something to be cautious of and to be aware of. But that Ohio State team was really impressive, man. So coming into this game against Texas, who, if you watch the Arizona State game, that was a game. That was a game. Shout out to Arizona State, man, for fighting back. They were down, I believe, 17, got back in the game, took it to overtime. Had a 4th and 13. You got to get off the field. You got to get off the field, Arizona State. 4th and 13. Guy hit you over the top on a deep post. That just can't happen, man. That just can't happen. Not sure what defense they were in on that play. I didn't really get a chance to break that play down like that, but that can't happen. But yeah, they're 4th and 13 away from being a Final Four team, and but also Texas, man, like they I don't know what happened. They just went into a lull. It's like the energy went down. It's like they was just trying to let the clock run out versus doing what they had to do to finish that game and put their foot on Arizona State neck to seal the victory and move on to the next round. So that was really concerning for me. That was really concerning for me, especially with Arizona top receiver not even playing, and Cam Scatterboo. What I tell you about that boy? I told you that boy can run the football, right? Didn't I tell you? He showed up, man. Gave Texas hell. Gave him a problem. Got his team back in the game. Practically willed them into overtime. But that inability to stop the run when they really needed to, and you knew they was running the ball. Texas, you knew they was running the ball, and you still couldn't stop Cam Scatterboo. Nevertheless, Texas did find a way to win to move on. But going against this Ohio State team with two great running backs, two-headed monster, it's going to be really interesting how this Texas defense responds, especially if Will Howard play like he did last week. You know what I said about Will to start the playoffs. Which Will Howard we going to get? Shaky here and there. But he balled out. He balled out. And there's no doubt about that, man. Will Howard played great football. So if Ohio State can establish that running game, get that going, and then get their weapons, Jeremiah Smith, one-on-one coverage, man, it's really going to be tough on Texas to win this football game. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like all hope is lost for Texas. I do feel like they have a path to victory, but it's gonna be tough going against Ohio State, man. I feel like Texas is really they're gonna have to generate turnovers. They're gonna have to generate tackles for loss, put Ohio State in obvious passing situations, and really go from there. I do feel like Texas has a solid secondary, but at times last week, Arizona State guys were able to get open and make plays. And I know that's a part of the game, but I'm talking about crucial situations. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they choose to play this Ohio State offense. But they're going to have to focus on the running game first. Because if I'm Ohio State and I watched that game last week and I watched film, we're going to take advantage. We're going to take advantage of some things that we saw and run that football and get our guys into some favorable matchups and let Will Howard make plays with his arm the same way he did last week. So, and that's if Ohio State decides to really stick to that running game and make Texas defend that first. So, but on offense, Texas, they have some weapons, but we're going to see how they use it. And we're going to see how that offensive line responds to Ohio State's defensive line. I feel like that's the most important matchup tonight. well, as always, the most important matchup to me when you talking football, line of scrimmage. That's always the most important matchup. But we'll see how Texas offense responds to that Ohio State defensive line. If they can really get a push and create some room for their running backs to get going and give Quinn Ewers some time to make some throws, then they'll be able to put up some points. They'll be able to put up some points and really move the football. And time of possession, I think, is important for Texas in this game more than Ohio State. I mean, it's important for Ohio State too, but I feel like more so Texas. It's more important for them to possess the ball, keep that Ohio State offense off of the field, and control the game from that way, and put together long drives and score. And put pressure on Ohio State that when they get the football, they know they got to score because you might not get the ball back for another 6 minutes. And really limit the number of possessions that happens during the course of this game. Because I feel like it's kind of tough for Texas to really bank on scoring 30-plus points and beating this Ohio State team. Do I think they're capable of doing it? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Texas is capable of doing it. I'm banking on the fact that Ohio State comes out and plays like the same way they played against Oregon. And me personally, I feel like, Oregon's receivers are maybe a little bit better than Texas due to the speed factor. Maybe I'm being biased towards speed, but I mean, it is what it is. But I feel like it's going to be tough for Texas to drop back every play and really make plays through the passing game. So I feel like they're going to have to control the game on the ground. Offensive line is going to have a great game. They're going to have to come out, punch Ohio State in the mouth from the first play on, and really set the tone and make a statement and let them know we here, we ain't going nowhere, and we about to establish our will. And yes, you are moving back 2, 3, 4 yards when I say you are. So my running back can hit this crease and make big plays in the running game, man. So we'll see how it go. You can probably tell by the way I'm talking that I am leaning Ohio State. I feel like the better is probably leaning Ohio State too, due to the performance that they put on last week. But I mean, it's a week-to-week game. What you did last week, you can't carry it into this week, and vice versa for Texas. What you had, you survived last week. What you don't like, you leave in the last week, you correct it. You come out this week, and you got an opportunity to really put some great tape out there, man. Really play a great game that we know they're capable of playing. But Quinn Ewers, he made the plays when they need to be made. I will say that. Had a few low points during the course of that game. But he made the plays when they needed to be made. But, no disrespect to Arizona State, but they're not Ohio State. They're not Ohio State. So I'm leaning Ohio State. Could be completely wrong. So we'll see how it go, man. We'll see how it go. Yeah, man. It's been another episode, man. Like I told you I won't be before you long. Just a quick little preview, quick wrap-up, man. And can't wait to see how this game goes tonight and game goes tomorrow, man. I'm really excited. Love football, love these matchups, man. And any comments, concerns, things you like, things you didn't like, leave them in the comments. But please like, comment, and subscribe, man. Let's grow this fan base, man. Let's get the locker room really jumping, man. And bring in a lot of fans, man, so we can really get these discussions going, man, and get this thing going, man. But like I say, I'm your host, Kalal, KT, Y.M.E, whatever you want to call me. Just make sure you call me, man. And till next time, man, with another episode of The Locker Room. Be blessed. Peace.